Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is tip 151. And today I thought, with it being Friday, happy Friday, everyone. Happy almost spring. Or summer. We're almost 10 days away from that, at least in the U.S. And I thought, Northern America. I thought that today I'd actually talk about what are the tips to make the most out of your weekend. Doc V always talks about Slingshot Saturday and make your weekends count. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to dig in a little bit and see if there's pointers on how to make the weekends count. Maybe expand on that a little bit. And I found a couple of articles, and no surprise, they're mainly in business magazines, Inc., and there was one called BuzzFeed, and then Inc. a couple more times. So I'll kind of share what the experts are saying are tips to make the weekend count and to make the most of your time. And the first one, BuzzFeed kind of said, make plans ahead of time. And the reason is maybe not so obvious for some people, but logistics. Do you need a concert ticket? Do you need a hotel? Do you need, what kind of things are you going to need to be able to make this come so that you don't have the frustration at the last minute that you can't follow through because the things that you need to accomplish the event are unavailable. Good morning, whoever that is. I just didn't see who it was. Number two is it says go on adventures. Hence the reason for number one. You got to kind of plan a little bit. If you're going to have to stay overnight, where are you going to stay overnight? Just to make sure there's nothing going on. Well, hi, Patsy. I'll be seeing you soon. So it says go on adventures and hello. And it says, like number one said, make sure you plan ahead of time because you may not be able to get where you're going to. Even right now, most things are open, but there might be limited numbers of people, or you want to know if there's any rules in play that you don't know about. The other thing, and like I said, Doc V is always saying, make the weekend count. The next one is a good one too. It's almost like goal setting, but it's dreams. A running list of dreams. And I think that can be fun. It's kind of like your bucket list. What are the things that you want to accomplish? It always seems like we have 100 things to do and never enough time to do it. So it says, write a list of 100 dreams. They can be smaller things. They can be bigger things. You can focus on the smaller stuff on weekends that are busy. You can focus on the bigger stuff for like long weekends and events. So having that list, because even if it's something simple like going to breakfast with a friend or maybe taking a drive to the other side of the state or just things that you can chunk off so that you feel like your weekend was something that you wanted to do, something that was close to your heart. The number 4 this article said to make your weekends count was get chores out of the way during the work week. And that can be, especially those of us, if we have to go back into the office, like dry cleaning or, there's a lot of things you can get out of the way before the weekend so that you're not spending the whole weekend trying to catch up on what you couldn't do during the week. The number 5 tip was abandon the phone. And that might be a good one too, because a lot of us get caught up on the internet and social media. My grandparents on both sides would be so happy with that one because they were all gone by 2000, but ironically, they thought we spent too much time distracted then. I can't even imagine what they would think if they were alive today. Hi, Lena. Good to see you. I love that picture you posted. The next item to make your weekends count is number 6. It says, fill in gaps with things you've been neglecting. Good morning. And it just seems it's kind of like the other things. If things don't perfectly sync up, if you've got that list, you can take a look at items like read a novel instead of checking your email, or maybe take someone to swim. But like you can read while you're waiting for somebody while you're swimming, or I'll listen to something that I've been needing to listen to when I have to take a drive somewhere, or I'll take a book or something that I need to finish that isn't too thought intense if I have to wait in a doctor's office. So filling in gaps sometimes, because then you can get some of the chore stuff out of the way while you're waiting, while you're stuck somewhere. I don't want to say hostage, but I think we're being unfair to medical staff and a lot of people by getting angry sitting in a waiting room. Figure out something that you can do to keep yourself busy, because they don't want to keep us waiting. We don't want to be angry. There's so many angry people right now that if we can just find something to keep us busy that may help us be productive when we're stuck in a place where we really can't leave. Number 7 is stop thinking about Monday. And I'm going to say that goes back to even anxieties, and I'm horrible about it. I can even remember as a child loving Walt Disney on Sunday nights, but hating when it came on because I knew I had to go back to school the next day. Because I was never the social one. I never liked school. I never liked to try to fit in with all the kids and all the people. So I ruined the enjoyment of a show that I loved because I was worried about Monday. And that kind of goes true for those of us on work. It does also say use mornings for something other than cartoons or your favorite show. Doc V says this a lot. We spend too much time in front of the TV. He kind of jokes that, you know, how many times can you watch the same Hallmark movie? And I'm going to say I do like to watch Hallmark movies from time to time, but he's right. Could I spend that time on something else? Something to make myself feel better? And I've been doing a lot of that this past year. A lot of education and training and getting myself ready for whatever may happen as things start to progress. I'm still hoping for a totally remote work environment. I know some companies are going that way, but even yesterday, my boss on my one-on-one was talking about how wouldn't things be so much easier if we're face-to-face, and I'm thinking, no, because I don't want to go back. It also talks, number 9 is explore new things you can try. The weekend is a great time to pick a new hobby. It's also a time like to maybe do those hobbies. As we're all able to go places, maybe it's time to do something new with a friend. Maybe it's time to do something new with your parents, or maybe it's time to do something with relatives that you haven't seen in a while. I kind of can't wait because in this past 6 months, my niece bought a house, my nephew bought a house, my nephew got engaged, and I haven't seen either of them in over a year and a half. So I can't, well, hi Rachel, hi Jane. So I'm kind of excited about what I can fit in. And they both are living far away. I mean, they're both at least an hour or more away now. So I'm going to have to fill in those gaps like one of the other pointers in this said. I'll listen to some YouTube videos, or I'll have items with me that I can be productive on those hour trips to get to where they live, because both of them are more than an hour away now. But it's exciting because I want to see the new homes they bought and congratulate my nephew on his engagement. It's exciting, and using the time, not being angry about losing the time on the road. I'm going to do something good. It's so good to see you. So many amazing friends support me. I appreciate you guys so much. Oh, look at this. Number 10, throw a shindig. We're just now being released to do that. Even my mom was talking about it. Since we haven't had a Christmas celebration in a couple of years, she's talking about like Christmas in July. It's funny because, not funny, but my mom and I, because we always do Christmas stockings and we fill them up for the family members. And 2 years ago, my mom and I went out after Christmas and we picked up a bunch of stuff and wrapped them and filled stockings. And they've been hung in bags in the basement, already prepped and prepared for the next Christmas. And it's been 2 Christmases because we couldn't get together. But nobody knew what was going to happen. And you know what? It's going to be fun because at this point, I can't really remember what we bought and wrapped. So it'll be a surprise to me too. I don't know how I would go not hearing, oh, you know what, Jane, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And really a lot of, well, I guess this is 100% Doc V. Doc V challenged me to go live, and then he challenged me not to stop going live. And I guess I'm a good student because I haven't stopped. But I just thought these were good tips because this is Friday, and we will have our live challenge group with Doc V this morning. Jane and I will, Lena, a few of us that are in the group will have those lives. Oh, Rachel, been thinking about you. Let's catch up. Those are so awesome. Like everybody's trying to catch up and trying to talk and meet. And it's just going to be a nice time. Christmas in July. See? And that's something we were talking about because at this point, I can only remember one thing in the stockings. And that was just because it was something my dad wanted. My mom and I went store to store to find it. And it's going to be exciting to see people because, like I said, a year and a half, my nephew's gotten engaged. He bought a house. My niece bought a house. And I haven't seen them. I just haven't been able to see them. But we're going to change that. The other thing is, although one of these previous comments said, don't think about Monday, this number 11 is saying prepare for Monday. So it says the last thing you want to do when you come home from a long work week is to start immediately thinking about Monday. But you might want to make sure on Sundays that you have loose ends tied up. So clean out your inbox, tie up loose ends before you leave the office on Friday. So I think that's a good point. If you can do it Friday before you leave, spend that last half hour, clean up the inbox, knowing that you're going to go in fresh. And odds are nothing can be hot on Monday morning, because if they send it after work hours on Monday, they're going to know, or on Friday, they're going to know you're not going to get to it. So that was the BuzzFeed article. I will kind of quickly go through Inc. to see for anything that they had that's a little different, and then I'll recap. But it actually talked about maximizing, and Inc. said maximizing your weekend will be, I'm so glad you agree. But if you don't agree, that's okay too, because we all learn from each other. And I do learn from everybody and their thoughts that they share with us. Inc. is telling us to make our weekends count, change your thinking. And I think this is important even in our weight loss journey and in all parts of our life. It says, get rid of the negative thoughts. So like, I'm too busy, I'm overwhelmed, the weekend is too short, and shift to say, I'm going to make good use of the time. I can only do so much in a day, but I'm going to enjoy what I accomplish. I'm going to be reasonable what I accomplish. And I'm going to make sure that I'm doing it in a way that I can feel good about myself in the weekend. It also says, Inc. This is Inc. that's saying, take a break from work. Make a decision Friday night to turn off the work mode. You want to step away. And I believe that's true. I think this is why vacations are important. When you step away, you can come back refreshed, and you can come back with a fresh perspective. I even find that as an accounting person, when I have a problem that I can't solve, I have to walk away from it and come back fresh, because they call it getting into the weeds. I've gotten so far into the weeds that I can't see, or I've gotten so far into the leaves I can't see the tree. And sometimes you just have to walk away to come back fresh. And that, I mean, anybody in my field knows that when you get too close to it, you got to walk away. Well, I think that's what vacations are for. You've gotten too into it and you got to pull away. And you don't make your best decisions when you feel the weight of it over you. You've got to break away and come back fresh. This is a good one. And again, this is Inc. Step out of your comfort zone and change scenery. I've been seeing a lot of pictures, and this kind of intrigues me, and it's probably going to make me very sore too, but we have like walkways that are lots of steps, hundreds, 200 steps down nature scenes, or walking above the ground. There's all kinds of cool things now that maybe we haven't experienced that we can get outside and experience now. And there is something about connecting with nature. There's a little bunny that keeps wandering around here, and I love to see him. And it's even funny, we have a local park not too far from here, and you can tell the neighbors feed the squirrels, because if you're walking the trail, because as I always joke, I walk my mom. If we're walking the trail over at the park, the squirrels will actually walk up to you like, okay, I'm ready for my treat. Are you going to give me my treat? And it's like, we probably shouldn't, because you don't want them to come up to kids, and you never know if they have rabies or something like that. But you know the neighbors are feeding them, and we don't feed them, but trust me, they get enough food as it is. This is another good one, and Doc V talks about this all the time. He actually gets a little frustrated on Saturday mornings because he watches the counts of people watching the videos. And he says, don't sleep the day away. And I'm going to say that's an absolute one for me. I get up about 4:30 every morning, and I get my meditation out of the way. I get my journaling out of the way. And then I like to watch the sunrise, and I love to watch the sunset. And it's always a bonus when I see beautiful colors when the sun rises or the sun sets. So don't sleep the day away, and find something to enjoy in that morning when you get up. And I find something quiet. I can go outside and study or read, and I even water my plants early in the morning, just because a lot of the neighbors have dogs, and most of them keep the dogs in the morning, so I can actually go out and water without stirring them all up in the morning. So that's a good time for me. It does say also strike a balance between planning ahead and going with the flow. And that might be good too, because if you set a rigid plan and you can't meet the expectations of it, it's almost like another work week that you feel like, I didn't accomplish enough and it didn't work well. This one is similar to the other article, unplug and do a digital detox. My grandparents would just love that, because they thought we were bad before and it's worse now. And the last one Inc. is talking about is conquer the Sunday blues. sometimes people don't enjoy their weekend because they're so wrapped up in what is about to come ahead. You have things to do. You can prepare for Monday every Friday so that you disconnect and enjoy your weekend. And really, I think even in Doc V's world, he would agree with that, in that he would say that if you're going to do something productive or to increase where your standing is in life, it needs to be the personal work. And that's kind of even back to Jim Rohn, because Doc V follows Jim Rohn a lot. Jim Rohn says that most of the work that you do on improvement needs to be self-improvement. Yes, you want to do some work to improve your skills for your job, but the self-improvement is what's going to next level you. So I'll quickly go through the list of 11 and then I'll release you guys to the weekend. But I appreciate you listening so much. Oh, thank you, Patsy. I know you probably are laughing because Patsy's known me a very long time, and for me to go live like this is very, very not me. But BuzzFeed, the 11 things they said, make plans ahead of time, and it's not so that you're an over planner. It's just so that you don't get caught at a concert venue without a ticket, or you don't get caught in another part of the state without a hotel. It does say go on adventures, learn something new, go someplace new, find something to experience that's different. I'll never forget, I took my mom up north one time, took my parents to see the fall colors, and we're coming down a hill and it looked like there was all these little dogs crossing the road. Well, by the time we got up to them, it must have been a herd of deer, because I think we counted over 50 of them, which is just a caution to those in the northern states. Be careful where you drive, because you don't want to, if it's against you and a deer, you may kill the deer, but you'll kill your car too. And you don't want to hurt a deer, and you don't want to hurt your car. Have a running list of dreams, because those are things that you can toss in. Small ones, big ones, something you can do over the weekend. If you possibly can, get as many chores done as you can during the week so that your weekend can be more about things that make you feel good, self-development, and adventures. And now that we're all able to get out a little bit more, you're going to want to spend some time with those that you haven't seen in a year and a half, or longer. Abandon the phone. Digital can wrap you up and hook you in, and it becomes addictive. So find some time to disconnect. And then fill in the gaps. Fill in gaps with things you've been neglecting. Like I said, if you get stuck in a doctor's appointment, or you get stuck in traffic, or you're driving somewhere, maybe listen to a YouTube video on something that you've wanted to learn, take a book with you to read. Fill in those gaps with something so that you don't get stressed out and feel bad, and then maybe act badly to somebody who is really just trying to do their job, and it doesn't make you or them feel good if you get out of control. So maybe just fill it in with something that you can knock out that isn't real deep, and it'll make you feel better. Stop thinking about Monday. As much as you can, clean up things for Friday evening so that when you walk away, you're done. Use mornings for something other than cartoons. And like I said, I get up earlier in the morning now, and this is something since I've been a part of the challenge. I get up, I meditate, I journal, and I watch the sunrise, because it just helps me start the day feeling better. Explore new things you can try. I've done a lot of that this year with Doc V. He's introduced us to a lot of mentors, and it's let me look at things in a lot different way. So whether it's a YouTube video on a new recipe, whether it's a YouTube video on how to garden more naturally, because we're finding that the chemicals that are used in a lot of cases are causing medical problems up to and including cancer. I know one of my neighbors sprayed a lot of poison at one point, and it literally welted my hands, and I had to have treatment at a dermatologist for 6 months for chemical poisoning. So, you may want to look into some other ways that you can do things that won't cause much damage. Throw a shindig. It's been a long time since many of us have had shindig, so getting together for that Christmas in July, or having a 4th of July party, or just something small scale, keep within the rules that are set for right now, but have a little bit of fun and connect with people you haven't seen in a long time. And then this is kind of contradictory to the other one, but if there's a little thing you can do, like maybe have your lunch ready Monday, or the clothes if you have to go back into the office, have that stuff ready so that you can just float into Monday without a lot of thought, or without the aggravated, frustrated hassle of Monday morning. I hope you find these useful. And in Doc V's words, Saturday is Slingshot Shot Saturday, and he always tells us not to waste the weekend. So if you found a tip or two, I hope that you enjoy it. Make the weekend count for you. Make you come through the weekend feeling better. Enjoy some time with friends. Spend some time in nature. And remember, it's been a long year, and let's do some stuff to have some fun, move forward, and make our lives even more beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon.